Welcome everyone back to the Rifter number 13. And today we are going to talk about the 13 magics. Oh yes, we are going to talk about the way that you as a player character can screw the game master over and completely end the world. Yeah, ruin the world. You can do that. Now, do you want to do that?
Yes.
Okay, Max says yes. Can you do that? Yes. Will you be able to? Maybe not. These spells are very powerful and they exact a great toll. So let's find out what that toll is.
I want to be clear. There's a difference between want and should. And just want to remind folks out there, Kevin Sabita should be here the 26th of January. If you're watching this video as it pops on, I don't know what day this one's going to come up because you're doing 4 this week and I have to figure that out. But it should be later on. Well, it'll be Sunday of this week, 26th of January. We're going to be talking with Kevin Sabita about health and damage and recovery and lingering effects and all that kind of good stuff. So I hope to see you then.
Okay. Now, GM note, this is important. Again, this is a Rifter. It's not canon. Okay. It's just cool enough to be put in as B canon. So what follows is a possible way for the old ones to be reawakened. It doesn't have to be. It could be just a rumor in your universe. You could cast all these spells and I bring about the great old ones to destroy all that lives, and then nothing happens.
Oh.
Or it actually does happen, and that's a way to end your campaign.
No, but that's actually cool. I love red herrings. I don't want to screw the players over, but so that might not be a good one because that's more on the evil side anyway. But I love red herrings like that where you think you're going in the right direction and come to find out that was just a rumor, dude.
Yeah, just a rumor. Now, there's 13 total spells, but many of them do not appear until the 8 key spells are cast. Now, they don't have to be cast by you. These 8 spells have to be cast once each in your universe.
Oh, really?
To unlock the other 4. And then the final one. Let's go through it. Now, what spells are we talking about? Each one of these 8 key spells call upon the power of a particular great old one. This one, Price of Power, is Xi or Z or whatever you want to get, XY. This spell, Unbridling the Great Old One's Power, will allow the mage to cast one other spell, regardless or level or base PPE cost, for 10 PPE. Now, for those of you who don't immediately know, some of these greater spells of legend cost up to thousands of PPE to cast. Not now. I can cast it for 10, as long as I cast this one first. But here's the rub. It costs 10 PPE to cast the Price of Power spell. It also costs you 1 point of permanent mental endurance.
Do you think you had a lot anyway if you're casting the spell?
Wait, it gets worse. Plus, per 30 PPE points of the casting cost of the spell you want to discount, rounded up, you lose another one.
Okay.
So do you really want to do this? It better be really important, because all of these spells, you are tapping into Cthulhu-like beings and you are driving yourself insane.
Am I a jerk in thinking that you have to have a low ME anyway to want to cast a spell?
You either have to have a low ME anyway to want to cast a spell, or your need has to be so great that you're willing to pay anything. Next one, Harbingers of Despair. Harbinger of Despair functions similar to a fear spell with a slight twist. What a twist. Like the fear spell, this enchantment creates a sensation of fear over a particular area as defined in the range. The range here is 20-foot area up to 100 feet away, centered on the target. Anybody within the area or entering the area must save versus horror factor 16. A failed roll has the same effect as a fear spell. The second effect, whether the first save was successful or not, attaches the fear spell central to the individuals that have entered the area or were in the area when it was originally cast. That is, if the characters fail to make their subsequent saving versus ritual magic, the fear effect will follow and move with the victim as its center. It essentially becomes a moving fear spell.
That's a way to show some chaos.
You cast fear in an area. someone enters that area. They fail their second saving throw. Now the spell is centered on them. It follows them around. Anyone around them can be affected by fear, and then they have to make a saving throw. If they fail it, it jumps to another victim.
Yeah, this is just walking chaos. This is like,
exactly.
This is Loki nonsense right here.
It's walking chaos. And to cast it, this one's the only one that doesn't make you insane. Range 20 feet, duration 1 minute per level of experience. So, it doesn't last that long. Saving throw is special, save versus horror factor. PPE 75 to cast it. You have to be at least level 10. That's it. It doesn't last very long. That's why it doesn't cost you permanent ME, but it can cause chaos, especially in the front lines of an army. Think about that. Cast it on one weak ass bitch at the front of an army, and it will cascade every second to someone else in the army. And that 20-foot area of effect would cause breaks in all of the lines and routing and all that crap. It will ruin grand combat for one side anyway. Diabolic Conception, 125 PPE to cast plus 1 point of permanent ME. Well, what does it do?
I hope it's not what my brain is going towards.
This spell gives the caster the unenviable ability to impregnate a humanoid capable of giving birth with a creature of pure evil. I'm going to sum this up for you. It's Damien time. The Omen. Watch The Omen. That's what this is. The Omen.
I thought I was being a smartass when I said that.
Yeah, Damien looks human, but he's actually the devil. That's exactly what this is. You are impregnating some mortal creature that can give birth to a lesser demon that looks like the race. That's what it is. It's absolute crazy. Covet. This one's messed up. 1 hour per experience level, costs 65 PPE. When this enchantment is cast upon a person or item, all individuals failing a save versus ritual magic, remember that's minimum 16, within eyesight of the object or individual targeted by it, will instantly crave and desire the subject or object, and will go to any means to obtain him or her. That means if you cast this spell on, say, Max, anyone in range of the spell that can see Max will want to own Max. And they will kill each other for that ownership. That's it. That's what it does. Cast on an item, same thing, except it's an item. They will want that thing. They will kill each other for that thing. It is now the Precious. And everyone is Gollum.
Or it's what's that Rick and Morty one where he made everybody fall in love with him?
Yeah, made everybody fall in love with Morty, right? Shadow of Death. It's the feign death spell, except it's worse because the recipient of the spell is completely awake. All 5 senses are still turned on. They just can't move, they can't speak, they can't blink, they can't do anything, but every single test you give will say that you are dead. There's no psionic power, there's no magic power, there's no science ability to prove you are alive. And as a matter of fact, it's the inverse. Every one of these things will prove that you are dead. This is absolute torture. You will be completely conscious through your own autopsy, but will never die. The thing is, you can't die until the duration of Shadow of Death is passed. You'll wake up and then die.
So you're suffering,
especially if you had an autopsy.
Yeah, suffering through that autopsy pain of having your blood removed, having your chest opened up for, let's just say, what level do you have to be to do this? Level 10? So for a minimum of 10 days.
Yep. You will be tortured throughout your entire autopsy, locked into if you have a modern day campaign, locked in a vault and then buried. And then you get to die. Awesome. At all costs. This one's really cool. This one is really for your evil NPC characters that want you to think they're absolutely immortal. Here's the deal. At all costs means this. You will survive at all costs. What the magic does is all damage done to you will be done instead to a random person within a certain radius.
Nahal's Reckless Dweomer from second
within
edition.
30 feet per level of experience. That means the evil wizard has slaves, 100 slaves underneath his feet, one level below him, definitely within 30-foot radius. And you keep casting and shooting and hacking away at this wizard, and he's laughing at you the entire time because nothing is happening. Except every slave underneath is burning, being cut, being blistered, being electrocuted, being poisoned. They're all taking the damage, not him. And this lasts an hour per level of experience, minimum level 10.
So every time you use this ability, it costs an ME.
Yes.
Damn.
Every time. But you are immortal for 10 hours as long as there are people. And here's the thing. Here's the kicker. Say he's got no slaves. It's just you and him and your party. Guess who's within 30 feet if you're trying to kill him? Probably your party. It'll automatically
Suckers.
be, shifted to one of your friends. Oops. Or if you're alone, I'll just go alone. Well, then you're going to die alone because you're the only person to shift the damage to. The random roll isn't random anymore. It's just you. You stab him in the back. You die. He goes, funny. And that's it. Yeah, this one's a powerful spell. I don't recommend this one. This is tough. Hate Monger. Target of the spell becomes a target of uncontrollable hatred and violence by strangers and friends alike for what may appear to be no reason. Yes, people just hate you. Cast a spell for 1 hour per level of experience, minimum 10 hours. Everyone you meet will hate you. Everyone who formerly loved you will now hate you. Small children will throw rocks at you. Grown people will try and stab you with pitchforks or light you on fire with a torch. Yes.
This is called being a YouTuber.
It's called being a YouTuber. Exactly right. Wasting. This spell, when cast, has the effect of simultaneously casting the Age, Agony, and Life Drain spells. At this time, the victim will immediately be incapacitated with pain, lose all attacks, cannot move or speak. The character will appear to age to the maximum limit of their species, thus reducing all their physical attributes by half. And in addition to losing half of their total SDC and hit points.
Oh.
Right away. How long? 3 rounds plus 1 round per level of experience. But even when it expires, you still lost those SDC and hit points. Those have to come back normally.
Oh, wow.
And it takes you about 4 rounds to collect yourself after this traumatic experience. So you still can't do anything for 4 extra rounds. Okay, so now all of those 8 spells have been cast. And now what happens? The 4 awakening spells appear somewhere in the world. Appear on tablets, in the back of paintings. Scrolls appear out of nowhere in some dusty archive somewhere. These spells appear. These are elemental spells that are here to prepare the world to be savaged by the great old ones. The first one is a fiery avatar. You turn into the greatest fire elemental to ever live.
Sweet.
You turn into a 40-foot fire elemental that looks like you. The problem is you lose 5 points of ME permanently. It costs 2,000 PPE.
Oh, no, it says plus 5 points. Is that a typo?
Oh, plus 5 points. I'm sorry, plus 5 points of ME.
So you cast those other spells and you start getting some stuff back. This is awesome.
You're getting some stuff back. That's great. But for the duration of the spell, you are a mindless killing machine. Friend, no, doesn't matter. You just kill everything around you until there's nothing left. You burn everything down until there's nothing left to burn.
California, okay.
California, there you go. Nefarious Vacuum. This one's funny. This spell is, you get plus 5 ME permanently. This spell is more than just an amplified version of the 6-spell Vacuum, though they do share some common similarities. This spell rips a hole in the atmosphere, causing a jet flat vacuum to form in a 1,000-foot radius over the target, which will cause a void to remain for 1 month per level of the caster. Those caught in the vacuum will choke and gasp for air, dying of suffocation in 6 minutes. The darkness perpetuated by the vacuum is an inky black as outer space is connected with. No light, either magical or natural, can penetrate this darkness. Victims that succumb to the effects of nefarious vacuum are raised as undead, as though they were raised via an animate and control undead spell cast by the caster of the spell. So at his level and his effectiveness. So you create a black hole on the earth that sucks everything in to a place that has no air, no light, no heat, no nothing. Anyone who dies from that, they drop out as zombies controlled by you. And that vacuum will be there sucking the air away from the earth for a month per level of experience.
I'm in.
You're in. Yeah, it's horrible. The fourth one is torrential flood. This one, it basically raises the water level of any body of water by 10 feet per level of experience per day. Nope, I did that wrong. 10 feet per day per level of experience. So if you're 10th level, it'll raise it 10 feet every day for 10 days up to 100-foot rise. And I don't know if you know this, but if the sea rose 100 feet, most coastal cities are done. You're just done. You're now underwater. Glub, glub. That's it. So yeah, this will ruin a coastal city. Absolutely destroy it. Kill everybody. Well, no, anybody who didn't run, they die. And the whole city gone, because when the spell ends, the water rushes back, and that will destroy all the buildings and everything else. It'll wash it all out to sea or to the river or the lake or whatever it was. So yeah, this ruins whole communities. Okay, so you've cast those 8 spells, you got the 4 elemental spells, and now someone's cast all 4 of those spells. What happens now? The very last spell. The final spell of chaos begins. What happens? Let's find out. The final spell unleashes the power of all the elements and all of the old ones combined.
Oh, God.
Yeah, this is the Captain Planet of the Great Old Ones. All those within the area of effect, which is 100 miles plus 20 miles per level of experience. So lots. Save the caster are immediately affected as though a great casting of havoc had taken place. Here's the rub. Those failing a save versus ritual magic, minimum 16, suffer 1d6 points of damage directly to hit points. Where's it? Yeah. Oh, nope, that's right. As well as suffering -3 to initiative, strike, and parry, -6 to dodge and roll, -6 save versus horror factor, and reduce attacks per melee and skill proficiencies by half for as long as they remain in the area of effect. Now remember, this is 100 miles plus 20 miles per level of the caster. Good luck getting out of that. That's rough. An evil taint will never leave this land. This land will forever be tainted evil. In addition, 400 Minotaur are summoned, 20% of which are priests of chaos, to the area, who are said to be holders of the final summons buried deep within their subconscious. These Minotaur are immune to the spell. What they do is, they will not rest until all 400 are brought to the center of the casting to finish the spell. This may mean a long and lengthy battle, because, they will appear within the area of the spell, which is a big area. And they have to go to the center, to where the caster is. If the Minotaur make it to the center of the casting area, they will begin a rhythmic chant in their own tongue, and it is this time that Zai will awaken inside Thoth. Now, for those of you who don't know, the god Thoth is actually the most powerful Great Old One metamorphosized into a god.
He downgraded himself?
No. He was tricked by 3 other Great Old Ones. Right? So he got downgraded. All of his memories are gone. He thinks now he's the god Thoth. But what if he remembered? What would happen then?
Might be a little angry.
It would be the start of the apocalypse. Because Zai, the Great Old One, old one's consciousness is stronger than the consciousness of the god Thoth. So the great old one would take over the god's mind and then take over the body, and then the spell will be broken, and then all of the great old ones will be able to return. That's what happens. Those are the 13 deadly spells. So that's what we got.
There are actually a bunch of comments, but I only pinned a few here.
Said it.
So let's start off with this one because I have a quibble with this. I love that cover too. Everybody's talking about how they love that cover. Look, that cover is of Zittisix, or bugs, right? Where do the bugs exist?
They exist in Wisconsin and Minnesota.
Yeah, that's probably my hometown right there.
Yeah.
You, sir, need to rethink what you just said. That cover sucks.
His hometown is Bug City.
Because if anybody knows me, if there's one thing that'll turn me into a 5-year-old girl and scream, it's bugs. And now you got giant-sized human-sized bugs, I'm out. Like, I probably passed out or I'm running away. And, they're probably holding my mom in there and flying off with her to get her PPE.
Oh, no, she's quite dead. Don't worry about it.
Oh,
she's fine. She's not suffering anymore.
She's fine. She's just dead. All right, so I would play this off as the players have to stop whoever's doing this, but at some point they get a spell on that list that is useful to them, and at some point they will have to cast it.
Yeah.
Make it an ethical thing.
Okay, no, hang on. Have to cast it? No. All of these spells, the very important thing to take away is it must be a choice. There has to be another way. It'll be a crap way. It'll be a hard way.
It's going to be like Saw.
Yeah, almost impossible way. But there should be always another way instead of casting the spell. This should be the easy way, the seductive way, the easy path. That's what this should be.
All right. Oh.
Come on.
No, I just removed, I don't know why, because I clicked the star, but it removed it. I'll go find it again. So before I find that one, Dana McCarthy says, remember in Palladium, a level 1 caster can cast any spell if he can learn it and find a way to fuel enough PPE to cast it.
That is true. Well, most spellcasters, that is absolutely true. You can be level 1. You can cast a level 15 spell as long as there's no level requirement in the spell. You saw a lot of these 13 great evil spells had a level requirement of 10. But that's baked into the spell. Without that, then yeah, if you got enough PPE, then you can cast and you know it, then you can cast a spell. How are you going to get that PPE? Well, the easy way is blood sacrifice. The hard way is wait for a nexus point during 3 planet alignment during the winter solstice. That's a good way too. But it's safer to kill 100 people.
I had another one starred, but I don't know what it is now, so we'll just go with that. I scrolled back and I don't see... Nothing looks familiar to me, but... So anyway, thank you. Yeah, look, the only part of any of that I care about is Minnesota. That's where I'm from. Even if I don't live there now, that's where I'm from. I don't want Minnesota. Well, you know what? Actually, at this point, I do want it taken over by bugs. But with that said, please like, subscribe, and share. A reminder, Kevin Sambita will be here on the 26th of January. If it is before the 26th of January 2025, hopefully you'll stop by 1 p.m. Central Time for that conversation with him. And if it's after 26th of January, go check out that video that you can find on our channel. And we're going to have a great conversation about some happenings at Palladium Book, but mostly about damage, SDC, MDC healing, some of the things we talked about in the old Q&A video he did a little bit ago. So hopefully you come by for that. We really appreciate you being here and have a great week.